Welcome to Shea Butter Yoga. Today is day 2 of our 10-day yoga journey to reconnect. Today is about de-stress. For today's episode, you're going to need a yoga block. If you don't have one, some people don't, you can use a pillow, you can use a little step stool just so you can sit up, or if you need to lift your hips for a certain pose. It's not 100% necessary. It's just for those who can't lower their hips down completely, this might be helpful. So, what we're going to do is you're going to want to start in cross-legged position, sitting on your yoga mat nice and comfortable, or on your yoga block. And what I'm going to have you do is lower the eyes or close the eyes. Place the wrists on your knees in just a comfortable position. And we're going to roll the neck, starting from our right side, lowering our right ear to our right shoulder, and we're gonna roll it to the left, and all the way back to the right side, and going through and inhaling as we roll to the left. Exhale as we roll left to right. Inhaling from right to left. Exhaling left to right. 2 more times. Inhale, rolling right to left. Exhale, rolling left to right. And back to center, and we're gonna switch directions. So, leaning our left ear to our left shoulder and rolling it. Inhale to the right. Exhaling right to left. Inhale left to right. Exhaling right to left. Inhale left to right. Exhaling right to left. Last one. Very good. Bring the head back to center. Now what we're going to do is just rock the head, dropping the left ear to the left shoulder, coming up to center. Inhaling right ear to right shoulder. Exhale back to center. Keep inhaling and exhaling as we drop our head and ears to each shoulder. And come back to center. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our hands in front of our feet, walk them to the right, swing our feet to the left where we're on tabletop position. This helps. If you have knee pain, this would help to have knee pads, so that's why I wear knee pads just in case I get pains randomly. If you have Meg the Stallion knees, you might not need them. So as we're in tabletop position, we're gonna have a neutral spine, meaning your back isn't dipped, where your head and shoulders are perched up and your stomach is dipping down. That's where your back is arched in. That's not neutral. Nor like this. This is also not tabletop position because your back is rounded up. Neutral spine, where your back feels flat, nothing feels like it's dipping or rounding. Your shoulders are pulled back but not so far. Nice and neutral, and your hips aren't rotated too far forward or too far back. So again, neutral spine. So as we're in neutral spine tabletop position, we're gonna do our cat-cows. Very simple, very easy. So we inhale, and as we inhale, we drop the belly a little bit, letting the shoulders round back, arching the back in, and lifting, leaning the hips forward. Inhale. Exhale as you roll the back up to round the back, and that is the cow pose. Inhale for cat. Might have those reversed. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, arch the back. Exhale, round the back. One more time. Inhale, arch the back and belly down, hips forward. Exhale, round the back. Now we're going to lower the hips in child's pose. Set the hips on the closest you can to the balls of the feet. If you can only go this low, that is completely fine. You do not have to go as low as I do. This is just comfortable for me. Now, if you have a little bit more stomach or a little heavier up top, then you want to open your knees a little bit to have room for boobs and stomach. Good tip, no one told me that. Lower back down to child's pose. And just take 5 breaths. Last breath. We come up. We're in tabletop position. And I want you to bring your knees closer to your hands. That way you can sit straight up. So you're sitting on the back of your shins, and your feet, tops of your feet are hitting the top of the mat. And what I want you to do here, so I want you to clasp the hands behind the back, and we're going to give a nice deep chest stretch. If you can't get the hands to meet back here, that's fine. If you have a strap or something, if you really just want to hold the toes, that's also good too. You do not have to go as deep as I do. It's just comfortable for me. One more time, we're going to hold this pose again. Perfect, and exhale. Now, since it's about de-stressing, we don't want to work too hard today. I want you to sit flat, feet out in front of you. We're going to work on touching our toes. Now, if you can't touch your toes, perfectly fine. Some can't. What I want you to do, we're going to reach forward and touch our toes. Have a nice, comfortable bend in the knees. Do not lock the knees out to where they're hyperextended or they're pressed so far into the ground that they're starting to bend slightly the opposite way. That's not how you do it. You don't have to have complete straight legs when you reach down to touch your toes. This is also why you're standing. So we're going to inhale, stretch the arms forward, nice comfortable bend in the knees. and then hinge at the hips, lean forward, and we can touch our toes. Again, if you're right here, but you still have bent knees, you stretch those arms, you're doing great. We'll get there eventually. And we're gonna hold here for 5 breaths. We want to come up halfway. Dip down again. One more breath. And we rise up again. Now, I want you to take your right foot, bring it to your left thigh, bending that leg. Give it a nice stretch, and then we're going to also do one more forward fold with your right leg bent to where your right foot is on your inner left thigh. Again, stretch those arms up and hinge at the hips to where your feet touch the toes. And we're going to hold this one for 2 breaths. If you feel any squeezing or pinching or any pain, you want to come up a little bit. This is where you can use the block. That way you don't have to go as low. You're already touching it. It brings the mat closer to you, so you don't have to go that deep. Again, I'm here is comfortable for me. You only go as comfortable for you. And we slowly bring it up, switching, straightening the right leg and bending the left to where our left foot is on our inner right leg or right thigh. Again, inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, bring it down and hold this spot for 1 or 2 breaths. And we rise again. From there, we're going to straighten our legs out so both of our feet are at the end of the mat. We're going to readjust so we're at the center of the mat, mainly so you're not up against the wall. And we're going to lay back. We're going to have our knees up at a, really just tented up. That way our knees are facing the ceiling, our feet are flat on the mat as well. Now, we're going to do a slight bridge, which is what we do here. We place our feet flat on the mat, hands down by the hips or under the butt if that's comfortable for you. We're going to do a slight ab clench, slight glute clench, and we're going to press into the mat to lift our hips. We're going to hold this for 3 breaths. And we're going to lower back down. Doing great. So now we're going to do thread the needle, which is we lift our right foot at a 90-degree angle, place our right ankle on the outer part of our left knee, That way it's like we're crossing our legs. And then we take our hands, place one between the legs, the other on the outside of the left leg, and we're gonna bring that left leg closer to us. If this is too deep, you want to place the hands on the outer part of the left leg, the outer and inner part of the left leg. That way you're not so deep. Or if you're still right here, you can just place the hands on the thighs. That's completely fine too. And we're gonna hold this for 2 breaths. We're gonna bring that left leg back down, unhook the right leg to where that, we're gonna take that, lift the left leg, place the left ankle on top of the right knee. We're gonna place our hands, your left leg through the legs and your right leg. That way you can meet them at behind the right knee. Now this is comfortable for me. Again, if you have to do it right here to where you're just holding the leg and that's comfortable for you, that's perfectly fine. Holding for 2 breaths. Then we lower that right leg, unhook the left leg to where both of our legs are flat on the ground. And from here, what I want you to do is I want you to bring both of your knees to the chest, wrap your arms around your knees, and we're gonna hold this for 5 breaths. Make sure you don't have any clenching in any part of the body. Sometimes people have a tendency to clench their face or press their lips tight together. Make sure you're doing an assessment throughout the body to relax. Relaxing the eyes, relaxing the mouth, relaxing the neck, the shoulders, the back, the hips, all the way down to the feet. And from there, you let go, bringing the feet and legs back down flat on the mat, and you're letting everything go. We're gonna hold this position for 10 breaths. And again, do a slight assessment. If you feel you're clenching your eyes, your nose, your mouth, any of those, any body part on the body right now in this pose, relax, unclench, unwind. Today's episode is about de-stress. So we're gonna breathe for 10 breaths. This is the perfect time to wiggle those toes, wiggle the fingers, soft rock in the body, to awaken everything back up. Slowly and gently open the eyes. What I like to do to rock myself back up, bring the knees to a 90-degree angle and slowly rock until you're sitting back up in a cross-legged position. Bring the hands to prayer pose. Thank you for coming to yoga with me today. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Again, enjoy the rest of your night. Namaste.